Now, just a reminder that ESPN FC is brought to you by Frito-Lay, and a reminder that La Liga is back very soon, and every game is available all season on ESPN Plus in English and in Spanish. It's a chance to see Carlo Ancelotti in his last season this time around with Real Madrid. Now, even though he has been named as Brazil coach for 2024, we've not really heard anything more about it since, from the coach, from Real Madrid, from Brazil. What's going on, Gab?
Look, Sid Lowe has some interesting thoughts on this as well, but I think it's a situation where Ancelotti doesn't have the all clear from Real Madrid to tell people that, you know, when his contract expires, he will become the Brazil coach. I think he can't legally actually sign for them and commit for them until January and until sort of he enters the last 6 months of his contract. So he just keeps repeating what he keeps repeating, like, oh, I have a deal here. I love Real Madrid and so on. And unless Florentino decides to extend his contract and Ancelotti accepts it, we assume he's going to be the Brazil coach because they've been so emphatic in coming out and announcing it. I wouldn't be surprised if behind the scenes as well, the people who've worked on this deal, maybe Real Madrid themselves, have told Brazil, like, okay, look, you said this is going to happen. Now, please leave him alone because he has a day job. For the next 12 months, let him go and coach Real Madrid. And then when his contract expires, he can go, you know, do whatever he likes. But, you know, out of respect to the interim boss who's now in charge, out of respect for Carlo right now at Real Madrid in what looks to be his final season, please, let's just put this to one side.
Are there exceptions because it's Carlo Ancelotti? Because it's a situation that's a bit strange, players knowing that you're not going to be around potentially after this season.
I do think it's a little different that it's Ancelotti. You know, coaches and people like him just carry a respect from players that most managers don't. So regardless of what's going on the outside, they just still see Carlo Ancelotti. However, like all managers, when there's this stuff going on and Real Madrid don't start well, then the outside will start asking questions about, is his mind on the Brazil job? Because that's just the way it is. That's just what happens. But as far as the players are concerned, it won't affect them at all. They absolutely will not be thinking about Brazil. They will go in every morning and just be glad that Carlo Ancelotti is their manager.
There's no doubting his professionalism, but is it a bit of a win-win for him, this whole situation?
Absolutely it is, and I think deservedly so. And to Stevie's point, there aren't many managers who can boast of a record or reputation like Carlo Ancelotti can, not just in terms of record and you know, trophies and etc., but just general respect from players, from every single player that comes under his charge. I think he commands a certain amount of respect from them and gets that in return. So I think it's easier in that regard. Probably the only parallel I can think of is Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm trying to think of when did Sir Alex Ferguson announce that he was stepping down, leaving Manchester United. I can't remember if it was this far in advance, but even if Sir Alex Ferguson announces 6 months before, it doesn't change everybody's approach. It doesn't change the respect that he garners or players' approaches to him. I think this is the same for Carlo Ancelotti. I'm not sure that there is another manager in the game who can boast as much.
What do you think his mindset is then going into this season? Does he savour it? Is it a bit more pressure?
Well, I think he knows. I mean, I think he'd said before that he wanted to retire after Real Madrid. He's got a year left. There's been no talk of a new deal. I don't think there ever has been talk of a new deal. So either way, this is going to be his last season in club management. That's the mindset he's at now. I don't know that he needs to spend too much time thinking or worrying about Brazil. I mean, he's there for the 2026 World Cup if he takes the job. He'll have 2 full years to go and prepare for it. It's not like he's going to be staying up at night and watching, you know, Brazilian First Division games to spot some unknown talents. He knows more or less who the players are. It's not his job to get them, well, will be his job to get them to qualify for the World Cup, but that's going to come later. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's like a pig in doo-doo right now. Yeah. He's very, very happy with the situation he's in. And the other thing, you know, you made a good point about Sir Alex. Of course, Sir Alex announced his retirement twice. If you remember, the first time it was like a year and a half in advance, and that didn't go well, so much so that he changed his mind and then stuck around and then won more stuff. I think the difference with Carlo Ancelotti is he's been fired from Real Madrid before, and he knows how things work at Real Madrid, and he knows that if the results are there, Florentino might say, well, he's leaving at the end of the season, let's get rid of him now if things go really badly. And he just knows that's the reality of the job. So I think he's okay with that. He accepts it.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.